Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. This video I'm going to be doing a kind of short synopsis on all of the stories going on right now within Marigold. It's going to be a little tough since Marigold, at least for now and what seems like no intentions in the future, have decided to do subtitling. So I've been kind of just using the YouTube videos that they've been uploading, the digests, and then using YouTube's auto translate feature to try to get the gist of what's going on in the backstage promos, or after match interviews, as I believe they are called, and just my very, very basic knowledge of Japanese. So let me know if I am like super off on some of this stuff, and if I am not, that's great. Right now there are more storylines than you might think with such a new promotion. It seemed kind of bare there for a while with only one story really doing anything, and that would be now Ishikawa's story, her kind of underdog story. So for those who don't know, when Marigold first started, there were only, I believe, 6 or 7 wrestlers. 5 from Stardom. Yeah, so 7 wrestlers. 5 from Stardom, Nanae Takahashi, and then now Ishikawa. And then the Actress Girls wrestlers decided to join up. And that is when Now's journey started. She kind of got pushed into the back, with some of the Actress Girls kind of going above her. So starting from the very beginning, the first story and kind of the story that's dwindled a little bit but still getting little bits and pieces here and there is now Ishikawa versus Actress Girls wrestlers. She felt slighted that these girls came in and kind of took her spot. She was one of the original 7 wrestlers, and she felt like she deserved better. You can see that showing up every now and then when one of the two are in a match together. She'll be a little bit extra. So there was a really awesome moment on the June 16th show, for the Marigold Grand Opening Wars 2024 tag 57, who cares. Anyway, it was a match with, let's see here, now Ishikawa and Natsumi Shozuki versus Utami Hayashishita and Koki Amure. So there was this really awesome spot where Koki was hitting Now in the corner, forearms, whatnot, and apparently she had damaged Now's gear, her costume. I can't really tell in what way. It's just the strap is apparently not working right. Now rolls out of the ring, puts on a shirt, and when she comes back up, you can see her staring like daggers at Koki, and she yells something. You can hear the word costume, and she forearms Koki in the ring, like in the corner, and it's solid. It's one of the hardest forearms we have seen in Marigold. There was real anger there, and with this kind of lining up with her being annoyed with the Actress Girls coming in and kind of taking her spot, oh man, I really hope that they kind of build upon this rivalry in the future, Koki versus Now, but I doubt it, seeing as Koki's been pushed to like a higher card as opposed to Now, who is yet to personally win a match. Utami had to come in and pull Now by the hair out, and the ref was like, hey. They were actually just getting into a fight in the corner. It was great. It was one of my favorite moments of Marigold right now. So with that storyline, we also have Now's path to victory. There are a couple of women in Marigold right now who have 0 wins. And from my memory, I believe they are Zeta Steel, Komomo Minami, Now Ishikawa, or Victoria Yuzuki. And Julia, she also has yet to win a match just because she's only been in one match. Yeah. So with so many people not having any wins, there's really only two that are on a storyline based around it. Now Ishikawa and Victoria Yuzuki. Both of them are desperately trying to get their first win, challenging everyone and anyone to accomplish that. One of them has succeeded technically, not a personal win, but a win is a win. So now Ishikawa has recently started teaming up with Nanae Takahashi. She wants to kind of get some of that passion in her, and Nanae is definitely not a terrible person to kind of put yourself under to become their mentee. Yeah. And just recently on the June 30th show, Nanae Takahashi and now Ishikawa teamed up together for the first time, and Nanae won with a refrigerator bomb, giving now her first win. And Nao's reaction to her first win is one of the most adorable things I've ever seen. Her voice is very different than what you expect. When she's screaming, it's very high pitched, and that's just not something that really fits her character. So it's a very nice juxtaposition that kind of gives her some depth, and she's not just a 2D character like some wrestlers. She, ran, jumped in her arms, was screaming, so happy she finally got her win. Now, she hasn't gotten her personal win, and that is hopefully coming sometime soon in the future, but she has at least completed her path to win victory. Not personal win, but win victory. Who knows how much longer we'll have to wait for her to get her first pin and or submission, but I'll be there to support her the entire time. We have kind of a recent development within the promotion with a bunch of teams kind of forming. So in the very beginning, we had the Twin Towers, which were Chika Goto and Amare Koki. And from the very first show, they were kind of shown as a tag team. Only recently, within this last show or two, they have started building the tag division. Now, there are a couple that are speculative, like Bozilla and Myla Grace. That could be a tag team for the tag league, but at the same time, Bozilla seems to like her as much as she likes Zeta Steel. So who knows? Then we have Chiaki and Nagisa teaming up. So at the end of one of the matches on the June 29th show, Chiaki comes out and announces that she wants to start teaming up with Nagisa Nozaki to kind of form an alliance, since Chiaki feels like she is stuck in the middle. She's the enemies of the actress girls that came over, and she is the enemy of the Stardom girls that came over. So she feels like she has no one to really align with and wants Nagisa to be in her corner. Nagisa agrees, and in the next show, on the June 30th show, both of them interfere with each other's matches. Chiaki helping Nagisa by beating up someone outside the ring, and Nagisa trying to help Chiaki in the main event and accidentally big booting her in the face. So that team is going well. Then, of course, we have the storyline that was dampened, unfortunately, because of injury. We have Julia and Sareee. Now, this whole storyline was obviously supposed to be Julia and Sareee kind of being rivals, both pining for the Ace title and the red belt. Unfortunately, Julia got injured in the first match, broke her wrist, and has been out since. Julia has tried to kind of push that story as much as she can, not being an active wrestler at the time. She has come into the ring after a show once, and when she addressed Sareee, she says, like, I miss wrestling. please get me pumped up for wrestling again and slap me. And so Sareee slapped Julia a bunch of times, and Julia was like, yes, because I'm a masochist. I love this. So she's very excited for that. They have a match on the 13th if Julia can get cleared in time, and supposedly there is a chance that it could be for the red belt. Most likely it probably will, and it will go on Julia if I had to take a guess. Sareee wouldn't be a bad choice, but it'd be kind of weird to have the red belt, the first inaugural red belt champion, be someone not signed to Marigold. Then on the other hand, we have the white belt storyline right now, which has been pretty amazing so far. So they announced white belt, then they announced a tournament. There was a 4-person tournament with Bozilla beating Nagisa, and then we had Miku Aono versus Mirai. And unfortunately, 15 minutes is not enough for these two to beat each other. They went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They tied 3 times. So they would tie their 15-minute match, they would get 5 more minutes and tie that. And then the next show, tie the 15 minutes, get 5 more minutes, tie that. Then the third show, everyone thought this was going to be the deciding factor. Unfortunately, they went 15 minutes, tied, got 5 more minutes, tied that. Now it's looking like they are going to have a 30-minute time limit match on the 13th of July. And then the winner of that match will then, in the next match, have to face Bozilla for the white belt. Now, this is an interesting choice. I just really hope they do not turn it into a triple threat. If they time limit the 30-minute match and then they're like, all right, both of you are in the match and it's a triple threat now, it's going to be dumb. I don't want that to happen. I want there to be a definitive winner, and then I want that winner to go on and beat Bozilla to get the white belt, basically cementing the white belt and their legacy in Marigold forever. Then the last belt storyline and the last definitive storyline. There's one more storyline. I'll talk about that one first, just because it's not as defined and it's not as fleshed out as any of the other storylines. So supposedly there's this storyline of Utami Hayashishita trying to be the ace of Marigold. It hasn't really been shown too much. If there are some kind of interviews that I'm missing where she is claiming this constantly, I don't know. But as far as I can tell, she really hasn't been in that scene. She's not even, they're not even holding a tournament for the red belt apparently where she could be in it. So I don't understand why this is even a story. The only reason why I think this is even supposedly supposed to be a story is Julia has commented on the fact that she doesn't like Utami trying to be the ace while Julia's gone. So maybe that's setting up Julia's first defense against Utami. Who knows? So moving on to the last actual definitive storyline, we have the Superfly Championship Belt storyline, where they had a tournament, a 4-person tournament. They had Misa Matsui facing one of the foreigners. I can't remember off the top of my head. And then Natsumi Shizuki facing another one of the foreigners. And then those two won, of course, Misa Matsui, Natsumi Shizuki. And now they are going to be facing each other on the 13th for the Superfly title to be the inaugural champion. This is an interesting one because Marigold started out with them being kind of a tag team. I thought for sure that they were going to be a force of a tag team, but then I noticed that they were obviously lifting up Chika Goto and Koki Amarai, and that they were probably going to be the first tag champions. So Misa Matsui, as soon as they announced the Superfly belt, I was like, Misa Matsui is probably going to be the one. But then Shizuki kind of went into that, and I was surprised because I thought she was going to be more in the white belt section of Marigold, but she's in the Superfly, and they have kind of drifted apart because of this. They used to be really kind of close, but then stopped teaming as much. They've faced each other a couple of times, and now it's kind of become a little friendly rivalry, from my understanding. So there you go. Those are all of the active storylines right now that I could really, talk about. There are other little things here and there, some kind of seeds that could be spreading into a giant storyline, like with the newer people coming in. We have Rhea something, the JoJo chick. She's probably gonna be put somewhere. There could be a faction starting somewhere. Actress girls are going to come and do some kind of performance at the July 13th show, so maybe that's going to lead to something. There's a bunch of announcements apparently Rossi plans on making on the 13th show, so who knows where that's going to go. But as of right now, everything that I've said are basically the storylines to look and focus on right now that have actively started. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.